Welcome, Libra Ascendant, Libra Rising. How are you? I am glad that you're here. I am thrilled to be here with you. Libra Ascendant, we are going to talk about August, the first half of August for you. We're going to go over the full moon, but I'm going to give you, better yet, a list of 5 things that we're going to go through. 5 things, definite, wonderful nuggets of knowledge that will help you to navigate the waters of the month of August. The month of August, you've been hearing anybody talk about it. August is some choppy waters. Without a doubt, is choppy waters. So we're going to walk through just the first half and understand better, understand intimately, Libra, how this will affect you, what areas of your life will be triggered, what areas of your life where will you find peace, a place where you can go to, people that you can go to where you'll feel comforted. August is a point where we have to remember changes, the direction of things. I know it's difficult, I know it's challenging, but together we're going to do this. Together we're going to navigate. Together we are going to walk through hand in hand and talk about nothing but you. So we're going to start off at the butt end of July. I know you're probably going to see this video after the butt end of July, without a doubt. It helps to understand certain things about the past. Things occur and we blame ourselves. So many times things occur and we point the finger at other people. Things occur and we don't understand what the hell was that about. So when you realize that there's impressions that we literally get energy that comes through, that flows down through the neutrinos, down through the emanations, the radiations from the planets. And planets have personality. Planets have certain inclinations and certain rays and certain ways of being. And when they hit us, when we start to receive them in our thought, when we start to receive them in our aura, we then take that energy and we have the free will to choose what we do with that energy. That's what this is a conversation around the energetic weather. So at the butt end of July, a pressure building, so to speak, there's a tension building, there is a culmination of feelings and emotions. There is us doing some serious thinking because we've got the planet Mercury. It's lining up with other planets. And some of these other planets are angling in a way where it's challenging our thinking. It's challenging our ability to be rational and logical. And at the same time, we are being asked to stay flexible in our thinking, in our ways of talking and relating and communicating. And this is big. The people who can remain flexible in the ways that they talk and relate to others, that they can be open-minded, these people will go very far during this time. They will find that they're able to quickly adapt and to move about, and that is going to be key. We also are finding challenges to rules and regulations, and this week, we kind of know this, we see it because there's, the pandemic, and there's all sorts of rules and regulations, and it is for the safety, it's for the best for all involved. It's the highest and the best for all involved. Realize that in these times, there are those who feel as though the rules that are in place for all involved somehow feel that they're infringing upon what it is that they want, what it is that they desire, the actions that they want to take. All of August, all about that. It's this running theme of, but I want to do this, but you can't do this. I want to go here, but you can't go here. Or if you do, you have to go, and there's these rules in place. And who's going to obey the rules, who's not? And so individuals are stepping out. It's kind of a combative time going forward for the rest of August, but it's not just the rest of August. In reality, it is the next 5 months. Yes, the next 5 months. When we understand our power is in our togetherness, is in us connecting with one another and encouraging one another, helping each other, lifting each other up, pushing each other in a way where it's positive. I know it's difficult. It's difficult for me too. But I also know change is a guarantee. And that's one of the things that I love about studying astrology. Change is a guarantee. So when we look at the weather, the astrological weather, and I'd say, for the next 6 months, understand there's going to be other things that are going to be happening. This is a dynamic time. Okay, and so let's get to the next event, point number 4. Point number 4, the beginning of August. At the beginning of August, we are coming upon a full moon, which is on the 3rd of August. Now, understand that full moons are a culmination. They are a closure. They are an ending to something. And typically they say that the light of the full moon shines a light on something. Now, the moon has to do with your emotions, your feelings. And this is why typically if you were to talk to people who are EMTs, paramedics, anybody in the, anybody who handles the public service industry, what they experience when they're dealing with the public is people are kind of what they would say acting out, acting in very extreme ways, elevated emotions. Here's the thing, because the moon, when it's full, its rays, its emanations, its feelings, its emotions, it lifts those up in all of us. And this is a real thing. Like the power of the tides of the moon, we see the direct correlation to the ocean's tides. Point number 3. Point number 3, along with the full moon and heightened emotions, the energy of Cancer. And the energy of Cancer directly squares the sign of Libra. And the sign of Libra represents your body, represents how you look in the world, how you appear. It's literally your physical form. It is your appearance. That is what the ascendant is. And that's when we're doing these ascendant sign readings. That's what we're talking about. It's all about your physical world. And it's all about the timings of events in your physical world. If you don't know this, I'll remind you right now, your ascendant sign is not your birth day. Your ascendant sign is your birthday, it's your birth time, it's your birthplace. That means the location, city, state, country. So birth time, birthplace, birth city, birth state, birth country. That is your rising sign. If you're watching this because you're a Libra sun, that's absolutely fine. You will glean, you will get lots of info. But at the same time, you want to know your rising sign, because that rising sign will give you more information, more detailed information as far as the cycles of physical happenings, physical events of your life. You get it for free. I do that for you for free. Comment your birth digits below and I will take care of you. I will hook you up. Point number 3 was the sign of Cancer, and the moon rules the sign of Cancer. So there's a connection. And the connection is that the sign of Cancer, as I was saying before, the sign of Cancer squares you. It throws a 90-degree angle to your physical body, to your appearance, okay, to who you are. So it's emotions, right? It's emotions. There's something happening there with the emotions. Now, I can tell you that it's going to have something to do with your goals and your ambitions, how you feel about your goals, how you feel about your ambitions. And these goals and ambitions are very nurturing orientated, because it's all Cancer energy. And this is all up in your 10th house, right? And your 10th house is how you express your best to the world. So when the world looks at you and talks to you, they're like, wow, this person really gives a crap. They care about the people. They love people. Sign of Cancer is mother, right? Got this mother energy happening. So professionally, you'd be doing great in a profession where you are connecting with individuals in a way where you are somehow exuding nurturing and caring and empathy, because those qualities are where you express your best. There is some tumultuous activities that go on after the full moon. The full moon itself is heightened emotions. And the full moon itself means not only are we getting an aha of an event from someone that we know, it could be very personal in your life depending upon your private chart. But since I'm not looking at your private chart, I can only tell you the general energies, the energetic cycles. So the general energetic cycles for this time, that the moon is going to be placed in your 5th house. The moon will be in your 5th house. Now, the 5th house is children, fun, romance, creativity, how I take a risk, how I have a good time with my body. You're going to be quite unique in that, because you've got the Aquarian energy there. And that's where the big full moon is going to be. And it's going to be at 11 degrees and 46 minutes in the sign of Aquarius. So that puts the sun over there in the Leo energy at 11 degrees and 46 minutes. Having the full moon in your 5th house, remember those keywords: children, fun, creativity, joy, romance, having a good time with my body. You prefer, like, having a good time, it's with the groups of people. Groups, you like group energy. It's like-minded individuals that are all about advancements for humanity, all, very altruistic, very much. This is that Tesla energy where we can create, where we can be the inventor, where we can come up with things that can, literally be advancements for humanity, right? Tesla, good keyword for this placement. So being very creative in that way, though. Super intellectual. very smart. You have the ability, depending upon if you have certain things lined up, where you would literally be the inventor, because you've got this energy in the 5th house, and the 5th house is a creative house. So you literally have the mind of God, because that's that energy in that the sign of Aquarius, its ruler is Uranus. Keywords: Aquarius, Uranus. When you hear those keywords, Aquarius, Uranus, 11th house, they're like all the same thing. So you can use the same keywords, right? And so Aquarian energy is the people, is the group, is knowledge for the group. And it's that Tesla energy. It's that very inventive. You think of Frankenstein, right? The Frankenstein and using electricity to bring someone back to life. And it's just like, whoa. Whoa, no way, right? And so it's this very, where would someone ever think of that? They don't. This energy, literally, when I said the mind of God, is because you're connecting. Your antenna is up, information comes through. And you just hear it, or you just see it, you just know it, and it comes through. All of that information, all of that in your 5th house where the full moon is. So what's going to be occurring, though, is you'll be receiving a beam of sun, because it's opposing the sun, and the sun comes through and lights it up, and that full moon lights up your sun. And so that sun is going to be in your 11th house. So again, this is a big deal, because it lights up your 11th house. And you already heard me mention the 11th house earlier, right? When I said Aquarian energy and Tesla. So we're talking again about the 11th house and having fun with people, having fun in groups, being very creative. Entertainment is part of that too, and risk-taking, having fun with the body, and romance, and definitely travel would be part of this too. Because traveling, right, can be very fun, but it's being able to somehow lift the mind away from the earth, off the earth. You're how to elevate intellectually. That's a big deal. There's stress and tension, because this big full moon lights something up. There could be shocks and surprises. It just, the week between, there's like a 2-week time period where things are really hot. I'm going to be honest with you. Things are very hot. And this has a lot to do with your 8th house. And your 8th house is all about significant relationships, but people where you're deeply bonded with. It's not necessarily a marriage partnership, but someone that, you could have friends, you could have siblings, you could have associates that people you work with. You're really deeply bonded to them. You have like the same values, and you're just hooked up, you're connected. And the reason is because these are people from a past life. These are people that you have history with. These are people that in some way, somehow, there is this lineage. There's this stuff, this ancestral stuff, but it hooks up through your emotions, our emotional bodies. And there is these layers where your emotional body literally merges with theirs, whether you're conscious of it or not. And so when that happens, there's a deep resonation that occurs, a deep resonation. It just is. There's no way to explain it. It's effortless. There is this understanding of values, of what I value, of what we value. And so there's a beauty in that. Keep in mind, everything I'm talking about, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, but this energy really does extend. This energy extends all the way to like the 15th of the month. So this brings me to point number 2. Point number two is to be aware of combative energies within you and on the outside. People who are in your inner circle, people who are in your outer circle, right? I'll go behind the camera, the outer circle, right? Keep in mind, all of us are going to be experiencing emanations, inclinations. Stand up for yourself, fight for who you are. Don't sit down. Take it standing up. If you want to do something, go do it. We're going to feel very invigorated. We're all going to feel very powerful. At the same time, the higher ups, who is the higher ups? That's a good question. Who is the higher up of your life? Who is the authority figure in your life? Who is the authority figure? Who is the authority figure in your home? Because the big theme for August, and it's not just August, unfortunately, the big theme, which we're going to start to see really unfolding here, for you, Libra, for you, in your home, there are going to be tests and challenges. And it's directly coming from, it could be your spouse. And if you're not married, then it's a partner of some sort. Whether this is a business partnership, whether it's people that you're just very, very close to and you're willing to compromise, or you're so close to, you have a great one-on-one relationship. It's not those that you're together with in a big group. No, it's people that text regularly, you talk to regularly. It could even be people that you are online with regularly, but it's typically going to be people that are placed in that seventh house, which is exactly opposite of your ascendant, your physical body. So it's people on your descendant, and the descendant is folks that we're married to, folks that we're in business with. This could also be, if you deal with the public, if you work with the public, this would be them too. Because when you're dealing with the public, there's the big group, and then there's the time when you come to actually talk to somebody and look eye to eye, or you actually have to take money from them, right? There's an exchange of money. There's that moment of contact, that one-on-one point, and that falls into the seventh house. What you're going to find is you may have a lot of stress and tension. What we're going to do is just remember this energy. It's a combativeness. I'm feeling very empowered, and it's also at home for you. It's not just at the job, but it's also at home. And that's what makes this time, these next 6 months, really complicated and very stressful, because typically you had a bad day at work. What do? You go home, right? You go home, chill, you go home and you decompress. You go home and you relax. What happens when you go home and you can't relax? What happens when you go home and there's no peace at home? So what I really would like for you to do, what I have been doing, is to make sure that I know the things in my life that help me establish inner peace, that help me establish balance, that help me establish health, a healthy spirit, a healthy mind, a healthy way of thinking, a healthy way of living. So these things could involve a lot, which means taking care of the body through nutrition, taking care of the body through fresh air, taking care of the body through proper mind thoughts. I have this thing I created once a long time ago, and I called it my thought vault. THOUGHT, my thought vault, VAULT. It's like, you have a bank vault. Well, I have a thought vault. And in my thought vault, it's a sacred space here. And what I found out is that when I could establish a sacred space here, it then created a sacred space here for me. Then enabled me to have a place peace within me, even if the outside of the world was crazy, even if there was this storm going on surrounding me. Now, does that mean that nothing's ever frazzled me or things don't bother me? No, that doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that for me, there are certain points where I've learned where I have to understand, don't go there, don't say that, don't think that. I have to check myself when certain thoughts creep in that are of doubt, that are of fear, that are negativity, thoughts of separation, thoughts of division, thoughts about doubt in general. The thought of doubt literally has the power to shred all the other optimism. Darkness has the ability to cover all the light, but a little bit of light, just a little bit of light, just an eensy teensy little bit of light. What does it do? What does light do? Just a little bit of pinprick of light. You get it through a little dot of a hole, right? And what does it do? It starts to illuminate the space. And just having that one thing that you can focus on to get us through, to get you through the next 6 months, because the bigger picture of all this, what I do here becomes physical, becomes material, becomes tangible. I literally create it. And the sooner we all grab a hold of that, the sooner we all accept and believe. And even if we aren't like there yet, fake it till you make it. Pretend, act, do whatever you got to do. You just every day start the mind training. Start creating your thought vault where you go into there and there is nothing but positivity and optimism and beauty and love and support and understanding and empathy for yourself. The minute you start showering yourself with love and beauty and understanding, that is when everything else starts to change. The minute you start taking unrealistic expectations off of yourself and you begin to have nurturing and empathy and just wonderful thoughts, self-talk thoughts, where you can look at yourself and say, you know what? This is me. This is how I came in. This is who I am. I'm doing the best I can. I am right where I belong. I am beautiful. I am wonderful. I am at peace. I am one with the universe. And there is good out there waiting for me. The good is at the back of everything. So for a Libra ascendant, Libra rising, tumultuous waters, there's going to be waters that are going to start getting boiled up because we're all waiting, right? Everyone's like, what's going on? Why haven't we taken care of this bug, this ugly bug? What's going on with the money? How am I supposed to work if I could be endangering myself and then go home and possibly endanger my family? Like, it's all really strange. It doesn't make sense. Hold your place of peace. Change is coming. It's probably not going to come as fast as you want, but change is a guarantee. If astrology teaches anything, it is that change is a guarantee. So keep your seatbelts on, keep your masks on, practice your proper hygiene, do all the things you need to do. Be smart, because this is a bigger picture of this month and actually the last 6 months for 2020, our ability to be independent critical thinkers, our ability to understand, okay, do I follow this? Do I follow them? Should I do what they're telling me? You need to develop these critical independent thinking skills. Not to say that you don't or that you aren't, but it's a test of that. So keep yourself in check. When we each take our responsibility, hold ourselves accountable for our own mind thoughts, for our own thinking, for our own speaking, how we're talking to ourselves, how the thought talk that goes on, how it might not be the most positive. And the minute that you hear it, you got to nip it in the bud and you got to say, hey, that's not necessary. That's not necessary. With number one, there's going to be people in power, people who, I mentioned it before, can be bosses at your job, but people who are bosses of where you live, people who are bosses of the world or who think they're bosses of the world, people who think they're bosses of the earth, people who think they're bosses of the universe, right? This is all about doing what is right for the long term, understanding that we have to hone in and gather our strength together as a group, as humanity. We have to understand we are all going through this process. We're birthing something, but we're not individually birthing something. We are birthing as a unit. And the faster we attach to the thinking of unity, the sooner we will be accepted into the community. And it's the greater community. You know, we have a smaller community here where we live, in our family, in our network, and our neighbors, right? Where we're at, where we work, but there's a greater community. There's a much greater community. There's a global community, but there's a community beyond the global community. There's a cosmic community. And so when we understand that and we learn to be okay with that, we learn to see beyond form. And you know, you hear people say, oh, I wish I could see an ET. I wish I could see. Yeah, but here we are on this planet and we got problems with the way people look. Right? Whether it's a two-legged or a four-legged, whether it's because of their gender, their race, whatever it may be. The bigger picture, we have to somehow get beyond form. And once we can release our judgments, right, then we can get there. Then we can understand more. To just embrace this message of unity. The message of unity is what will set you free.